Good morning, greetings, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I am your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being, and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 32 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system, it is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis, and while some folks may call that healing, renewing, regenerating system a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we're here for you at 844-236-6010. If you have questions about the longevity products or business or a health challenge that you or a loved one is dealing with, 844-236-6010 is our number. We want to be your go-to resource for all things health and nutrition. 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side. We'll get your calls in our second segment. We've got a guest coming up at the bottom of the hour, Dr. Ellie Phillips, DDS, who practices Bright Side Dentistry. I say that slightly facetiously because everything she talks about is everything we talk about on this program. And we're going to have a conversation with Dr. Phillips about her new book, Mouth Care Comes Clean, and talk about some of her against the mainstream, out of the mainstream ideas on how to take care of your teeth. We'll do that at the bottom of the hour. And then we'll take your phone calls in our next segment, 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. If you want to purchase longevity products, call 866-735-2470 or head to our websites, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can order longevity products or sign up to join the Brightside Ben team by calling 866-735-2470 or clicking on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. For a one-time $25 fee, you can be in business for yourself, or if you just want to get your products at the wholesale price, you can do that as well. Call 866-735-2470 for more information, or go to our websites, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, criticalhealthnews.com. And don't forget to check out truthtreatments.com. We've got free shipping for the next few weeks, and also new products up. Our retinol spot treatment for dabbing on blemishes. If you dab it on your blemish to be, on a red spot, you won't even get the blemish. If you do have a blemish or a pimple and you dab retinol on it, you'll accelerate the healing dramatically and reduce or eliminate the risk of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. You can also use our retinol spot treatment for spot treating dark spots. Retinol is a wonderful skin lightener. Actually, it's the best skin lightener. And it's anti-aging, non-toxic skin lightener, unlike hydroquinone, which is drug skin lightener. Hyperpigmentation doesn't seem like it would be a big deal, but it's probably next to acne. I would have to say dark spots, melasma, hyperpigmentation are the number one skin complaint that people have. Maybe dry skin. Acne, dry skin, and hyperpigmentation, too much pigment, which should always be regarded as a cortisol issue and an estrogen issue, a hormonal issue, not a topical issue. But you can lighten the skin topically using healthy, intelligent, functional strategies. And by healthy, I mean non-drug strategies. And by functional and intelligent, I mean strategies that work plus have benefits instead of toxicity. That's why we have our retinol spot treatment made with retinol, vitamin C, vitamin E, all very wonderful skin lighteners, and salicylic acid, another great skin lightener, and medium chain triglycerides, and that's it. Only 5 ingredients in the product. It's basically a delivery system for retinol, vitamin C, and vitamin E, and salicylic acid. You can find out all about it, as well as our other Truth products at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. All right, we've been talking about the nature of electricity, which I think is very underappreciated, which I know is very underappreciated. Chemistry works because of electricity. If you don't understand electricity, you're not going to be able to take advantage of the chemistry. You got to understand the foundation if you're going to be able to leverage or take advantage of or work correctly and intelligently with the levels above the foundation. Got to understand the foundation. The basics are electricity. We talk about chemistry, and we're very ignorant about chemistry because we don't understand electricity, unless you've been listening to this program, and I know I've been talking about it for a while, but it's really super duper important. The body is like a machine in the sense that it has organic, has living gears and wheels, and these gears and wheels are driven like the gears and wheels in your car by energy. The energy comes from food. Food is supposed to contain pure energy and delivery systems for pure energy. Proteins, fats, and carbohydrates release energy, vitamins, minerals, and a few other things, enzymes perhaps, act as temporary holding places for that energy that's released from protein, fats, and carbs. If you get protein, fats, and carbs without the temporary holding spots, your body's not going to be able to use the energy. But because we don't speak the language of electricity, we don't even think about that unless you're listening to this program, because we talk about it all the time. As a healthcare professional, I think it's irresponsible not to be talking about electricity, or at least understanding electricity. So electrical energy is basically what we're talking about. But there's a way that electrical energy is delivered in the body that's very fascinating. Electricity is delivered, as we said last couple shows, we said it was delivered in the form of, one of the ways electricity is delivered is in electrolytes, potassium and calcium and magnesium. Obviously, the term electrolytes tells you you're dealing with something electrical. When magnesium in a certain form, or calcium or sodium or chloride or sulfate or other electrolytes get put into liquid, they become electrically active. When you take your Beyond Tangy Tangerine and put it in liquid, it becomes an electrically active drink. Not only because of the sodium and the potassium and the calcium, but because of the plant-derived minerals. The plant-derived minerals are electrical. Plant-derived minerals that come from plants, which originally came from microbes in the soil, are very electrolytic. In fact, they're polyelectrolytic. They are polyelectrolytes. Poly means many. An electrolyte, like magnesium, that's one electrolyte. But in plants and in the soil, via the action of microbes, bacteria, rocks from the earth are turned into polyelectrolytes, long chains of electricity, long chains of electrolytes. And these polyelectrolytes have completely different properties. They have unusual properties, unique properties that regular electrolytes don't have. Because they are long chains of electricity, they are, in essence, electrical fields, long chain electrical fields, because wherever you have electricity, you have a field. A field is like an emanation, a cloud of electricity. So electricity flows in the wire of the polyelectrolytes, but then there's a cloud of electrolytes around them. There's a cloud of electricity around them, I should say. So these polyelectrolytes are long chains of electricity, electrolytes, and above them and below them is a cloud of electricity, and that gives these things incredibly important properties. Not just for us, but for plants. For plants and for us, for biology and for botany. These long-chain polyelectrolytes with these electrical fields are tremendously important and tremendously relevant for farmers and for human beings who want to be healthy. Because these long chains of electrically active clouds of polyelectrolytes that are coming in the soil, we're going to talk about these for the next few days, by the way, are not only electrical, they're also magnetic, because wherever you have electricity, you have magnetism. So they're like long chain magnets. You think that's going to be relevant? You better believe it is. Super, super health relevant. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. right, we are back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll get your calls this segment if we have any. If you guys have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, skin health questions. I've been doing skin health and skin health product formulation now in a compounding pharmacy setting as well as in a over-the-counter type of setting for 30 plus years, 35 years almost. Let's see, 35 years, 30 going on 36 years. And I've learned a lot about how you make skincare products and what the skin is. I worked for the Blistex Corporation back in the 1980s. My job was low man on the totem pole, going to the library and doing research and washing the dishes and making the formulas and doing the animal testing. Oh my God, that was a horrific experience. Anyway, I learned a lot about how you take care of the skin. Then I started a compounding pharmacy where we made skincare products for people who had problem skin. What I discovered was when you make products that heal the skin gets more beautiful, the skin gets more healthy, the skin gets more youthful, the skin gets more moisturized, the wrinkles start to fade, and the fine lines start to disappear, and the dark spots improve. When you make the skin healthy, it looks beautiful. That's why you want all your skin health products, or your skincare products, to be skin health products. That's why you want to know if your skincare product works on a cut, helps speed the healing of a cut. If your skincare product can help speed the healing of a cut, I'm not talking about antibiotics, I'm talking about like nutrition, basically. That's your marker for an effective skincare product, because healing is beauty. In fact, when we want to be beautiful, what we're really talking about is demonstrating to the world that we are healthy. That's what beautiful skin really is about. That's why we want beautiful skin, so we can demonstrate to the world that we're healthy. That's why women wear makeup. And so they can demonstrate to the world, so women can demonstrate to the world that they're healthy and fertile. That's why women wear lipstick. That's why we do everything, is to show the world we're healthy and we're fertile. That's why, because back in the day, if you weren't healthy, and if you were a woman and you weren't fertile, you got kicked out of the tribe. So being healthy and fertile, from a genetic and an evolutionary perspective, is hardwired. The desire for that is hardwired into us. That's what the beauty business is all about. What I say is, let's make the skin healthy, and it will be beautiful. Of course, internal nutrition is always the most important for making any part of the body healthy, including the skin. And you can't have a healthy liver and a healthy heart and a healthy spleen, healthy lungs, and a healthy digestive system if you don't have the right nutrition. And likewise, you can't have healthy, i.e., beautiful skin, if you're not taking care of your nutrition. And that includes staying away from anything that whacks out your digestive system. All right, got plenty of lines open, 844-236-6010. I'm trying to decide if I want to continue talking about these polyelectrolytes or read a story here. Polyelectrolytes, I'm just saying one really cool thing about the polyelectrolytes, because they're long chains of electricity. They're made by bacteria in the earth. Bacteria take dirt. They take rock that is planet Earth. Earth is a big rock spinning around in outer space, just like the moon is. It's a big rock. It's a big dead rock with one exception. On the top of the Earth, there's a very slender, very tiny sliver of living material that's called soil. And that living material is basically the end result of the action of microbes on the rock. The microbes eat the rock. They eat the rock that is planet Earth in a process called humification. And we will be talking about this. This is extremely fascinating. And if you read any of the latest papers on the origins of life on Earth, you'll find that scientists now believe that the origins of life began in electrically active dirt. Clays, they call them. Electrically active dirt are clays. Clays are super electrically active. Dirt doesn't have to be a clay to be electrically active, but clays are mega electrically active. Anything that forms a clay is so electrically active that it's actually literally thought that that's where life began on planet Earth. Interestingly, it says in the Bible that human beings came from the dirt. Interestingly, humification has the same root as human. Humification, the process of vivifying or animating or bringing livingness to Earth, has the same root as human. No coincidence, I think. So anyway, we're going to talk about all that, and the magnetic nature, which can really be leveraged by skincare as well as by internal, as well as by in terms of food and nutrition, topical skincare can utilize the magnetic nature of these compounds. And that's what True Skin Health is all about, by the way. And we will definitely be talking about that in the coming days. 844-236-6010 is our number on the bright side. We've got John on the phone. So let's say good morning. What's up, John? Welcome to the bright side.
Hey, good morning, Ben. Listen, a friend of mine tells me that about a month ago, her mouth and lips began having a very salty taste, and it sort of flavors everything that she eats.
Is she?
Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it. It's sometimes a sign of something called thrush, which is a yeast infection in the mouth. But she would notice that there was other signs. Did she notice any infection signs? It could have to do with the wrong kind of bacteria. Usually, that's not going to happen on its own. There's going to be something else going on. The mouth, as we're going to talk about with Dr. Phillips next segment, the mouth contains lots of organisms. These organisms are not supposed to make salt, but the wrong kind can make salt. And if she has a problem with the organisms in her mouth, she could have overload of yeast, the wrong kind of bacteria. That could possibly do that. But she would know that there were other symptoms. Does she have anything else going on?
Oh, goodness. Well, yeah, she's got a lot of things. She's got a lot of things
that's what you want to look at. It's kind of funny when somebody has all these things going on, but they're concerned about the salty taste in their mouth. She should be more concerned.
It's something that, really sort of bothers her daily, all the time.
Well, it's a sign that her body's breaking down, basically. She's being colonized by the wrong microbes. So yeah. I'd be working on, whenever that happens, whenever you have yeast infections, thrush, microbial infections of any kind, chronic infections, dental problems. I mean, it doesn't seem like that there'd be a digestive component, but there is via this good bacteria, bad bacteria, good bacteria, and yeast connection. So anytime bacteria overgrow anywhere in the body or yeast overgrow anywhere in the body, like you have chronic yeast, a lot of people will tell me they have chronic yeast infections. What do I take? You got to work with the microbiome, which is your good guy bacteria that live in the gut. And that means all the digestive things we talk about all the time on this program. That's how I would be doing it.
I'll pass that on to her. Another thing, I've heard you mention this before, and I can't remember exactly what you said about it, but I find that I have very tiny, sort of pinhead-size red spots.
Petechiae on your skin?
Say it again.
Petechiae, they call them, or petechiae.
Petechiae. Okay, that's it.
That's a sign that you're. That's a couple things could be going on. It's, believe it or not, it doesn't look like it, and you don't even think of it that way, but it's inflammation. It's microinflammation. It doesn't look like there's anything inflamed there, but from a microscopic perspective, there's inflammation going on. And that's causing the blood vessels to become weak and to break, and the connective tissue to thin, and you're actually seeing broken blood vessels in there. So that's a sign that you want to start building your connective tissue, and a sign that you're inflaming. It's not a serious thing, but it's a sign. So all the anti-inflammatory things we talk about with the digestive system, high doses of vitamin C, and then also the Healthy Star Pack, of course, and the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. We've had more time, but we are at the end of the clock here. Thanks, John, for your call. Appreciate it. Got Dr. Ellie Phillips coming up in the next segment. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. Back, excuse me. We're back on The Bright Side, talking to Dr. Ellie Phillips. Her new book is Mouth Care Comes Clean. And Dr. Phillips and I have a lot in common, as it turns out, about our philosophies of how you take care of the body. Excuse me. The digestive connection to good health, how it's the same thing over and over again. Dynamic balance, as Dr. Phillips calls it, the idea that the body goes back and forth, chemical reactions or go both ways. Chemical reactions go into the breakdown mode and the build-up mode, and all you got to do, if you're breaking down too fast, is reverse the pathway. The body can turn on a dime, but we got to turn on a dime. And Dr. Phillips believes that as well as I do. So please welcome to The Bright Side, Dr. Ellie Phillips. What's up, Ellie? Did I say that okay?
So great to talk with you.
Okay, I didn't put words in your mouth now. Did I say everything okay?
No, you said exactly. I don't know how I came across you or we met, but it's just phenomenal to find somebody, because I have really not ever found anybody who says exactly the same thing.
Yeah, because the truth is the truth, Dr. Phillips. The truth is the truth, and like you said to me earlier, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see this stuff, but you have to have your eyes open to see this stuff. You know, there are none so blind as those who will not see. Go ahead.
I think you said one time something very interesting about. I used to teach more about the chemistry of the mouth, and it was when I actually learned more about the biology in the mix with the chemistry, when you have microbes. A biochemistry.
Yeah.
You can't really refute what goes on, because
give me a little.
It's just the truth.
give me a little. No pun intended. A little taste of how you see the microbiome that exists in the mouth. It's like, it has to be huge, right? There's got to be billions and billions, maybe trillions of bacteria.
It's incredible. And one of the things that is so misunderstood, and still misunderstood by dentistry, I mean, most people, if you ask most people, how do you take care of your teeth? You brush, floss, and go to the dentist, right? I mean, that's the average person's idea of doing, and maybe diet, giving up sugar or something. But the real fact of the matter is there are over 700, maybe more, closer now to 900 kinds of good bacteria that are essential
species
in a healthy mouth. And I think so far the number of bad bacteria are kind of like a dozen. I mean, maybe slightly more, but
the vast majority. I just want to say this one thing: the vast majority of bacteria, which you and I think you're about my age. We grew up that they were germs. The vast majority of germs or bacteria are good. Like 90%, 95% of bacteria are good bacteria. It's just a small percentage that gets the bad press.
That's right, and of course, dentistry has spent the last 100 years on a mission to kill and destroy. And the problem is that in the mouth is a little different from the digestive biome, because it's designed to be a frontier, to be a protection for us. And what happens is these good bacteria get meshed into sort of woven in this web of, they're actually little proteins out of your saliva, to form a
biofilm,
protective film, a biofilm. And of course, dentistry has always seen biofilm as a terrible thing, and you've got to break it up, and you've got to
kills the biofilm.
What you got to do is have a healthy biofilm.
Yeah.
And I agree that 95 to 98% of people in America have infected biofilms.
How come?
And if you're not going to do anything to take care of it.
How come, Dr. Phillips?
Well, how come? Because there are lots of factors. And the factors that keep you, it's probably easier to talk about what keeps you on the bed. Again, you mentioned that it's dynamic. If we could start with a baby, and if the baby was infected, as the mother kisses the baby, if the baby was infected with healthy bacteria at the very start of life and being fed breast milk and was born vaginally, so that head first down the birth canal, those babies always, they have an alkaline environment in which the right bacteria start to grow. Babies born by C-section we always knew this in dentistry, had worse dental health. It wasn't until recently that we could put the whole thing together. It's what are the first bacteria to establish themselves in the mouth? And you have these various windows of opportunity right at the start when a baby is born, as the teeth erupt, and once you've infected a couple of teeth, the next teeth get infected by those first teeth. So the initial infection is really important. I guess we should call it colonization, because it isn't a bad infection. It's a good infection. But then again, the mother has to have a healthy mouth.
And a healthy digestive.
And where's the horse? I mean,
probably doesn't she have to have a healthy digestive microbiome too? Does that have an impact?
Exactly. And one of the interesting things is that, I don't know which is the egg and which is the chicken, because a mother's oral health affects the baby's digestive microbiome in utero.
In utero.
And most of the things that we have done in dentistry have not made people's mouths healthier.
Where does
you talk a lot about medicine in dentistry.
What about chlorine?
All those.
Chlorine?
Well, the problem is that filling, people think of filling deals with a dental problem called a cavity. A cavity is a symptom that you see in the mouth. The real problem is the underlying disease. And unless you deal with the underlying disease, you can patch and fill. That all the fillings you want to put in the mouth, they will never stay filled. It's an ongoing game. You will never win. 50% or more of the dental work done in America is repair of an existing dental restoration. It's an ongoing over and over and over again. And all those filling materials are toxic. I don't care if it's white. I don't care if it's silver. You don't want that in your mouth. You want healthy teeth. You want pristine teeth. And today we have an epidemic of tooth decay in children under the age of 4.
What would you say?
Pandemic, I think you could call it.
What would you say to somebody who gets cavities all the time? And their friends don't, or people they know don't, and they happen to get cavities all the time. What would you attribute that to?
Well, you've got to look at what is going on. What is the risk factor? And it's always to do with this microbiome in the mouth. Are you feeding it sugar all day? Is it dried out because you have sinus problems and you're breathing through your mouth? Are your teeth configured in such a way that they get dry?
The
best liquid...
Go ahead.
The best liquid for repair, and we talked about this being a dynamic process. You get damage. Every time you eat, you have damage.
What's the best liquid?
What you want, as far as I'm concerned. But at the end of the meal, you have to finish with a tooth-protective food. That is something that is non-acidic.
Like what?
Celery, cheese, xylitol.
Xylitol? Oh, we'll talk about that when we come back.
Great.
I also want to get to your book. I love xylitol also. All right, we got to take a break. Dr. Phillips, we're talking to Ellie Phillips. Her book is Mouth Care Comes Clean. And you can reach her at ellie@zellies.com. ellie@zellies.com. Website www.zellies.com. Back on the bright side, talking to Dr. Ellie Phillips. Her book is Mouth Care Comes Clean. Her website is www.zellies.com, ZELLIES.com. All right, so Dr. Phillips, real quick, I want to get into the book, but real quickly, what's your take on chlorine in the water and fluoride?
Well, the chlorine and fluorine are definitely toxic. I don't think we want to drink either one. But you know as well as I do that sodium chloride is table salt, right? Is salt. And you believe what I believe, that most people actually don't eat the right amount of salt. You need a certain amount, and it's a small amount.
It's actually salt's for stress. The more stress you're under, the more salt you need.
Exactly. And the thing is, most people are terrified of salt. And they don't have enough because they're being told they shouldn't and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of confusion about sodium chloride. In the same way, I don't want you to drink fluoride or fluorine or inhale it because it's toxic. But I believe the stable salt, which is sodium fluoride, is very akin in many ways to sodium chloride. That when it's used appropriately, and the difference with sodium fluoride is, I think, I believe totally it should be a topical application to an adult tooth that needs help. You see, one of the problems for most people is it's black or white, and I don't believe that. I don't think I know a child shouldn't be drinking fluoride. I poisoned my own daughters with fluoride. They have thyroid problems. They had trouble conceiving. Their teeth were mottled. Mm-hmm. I did that to my own kids in the belief back in the 70s that it was a good thing to do. So I'm a mother who was infuriated to find that I had damaged my children's teeth by giving them fluoride to drink. So believe me, I am outspoken about we should not be putting artificial fluoride into our drinking water or giving it to small children. But on the other hand, I see many dentists who've taken, they haven't taken a middle ground. They've decided if you fluoride, yes or no. And they have patients whose teeth are falling apart, they're sensitive, they're breaking, they're getting cavities, they need crowns and root canals. And my argument would be that's insane. You've got more toxicity from a root canal, and you've got more damage to the mouth from a artificial crown and so on. Use a little bit of topical sodium fluoride. And there are so many kinds out there. Sodium fluoride is the most expensive, so it's usually not sodium fluoride that is promoted. I mean, a lot of toothpaste is stannous fluoride, which, as you know, is a tin-based fluoride. And I would never recommend that. So it's specific. It's a very tiny amount and applied specifically to adult teeth to help them, because one of the things it does is it basically creates almost like an ionic charge so that the tooth will attract minerals.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Tell me, let's talk to us about demineralization and remineralization.
This is the dynamic balance. Enough demineralization will create a cavity. I mean, that's really how a cavity forms. It's progressive demineralization, the pulling out of minerals from your teeth. And you ask me, what do I say to somebody who's always getting cavities? You know, if you tell me you're bankrupt, and the chances are you've pulled out more money from your bank account than you put in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty simple.
You're in the red.
Simple with a bank account. And sometimes it's because you pull out little tiny bits all the time rather than one huge amount. And that's the same with teeth. Most of the damage, most of the sensitivity, most of the problems people have is because they have this consistent, too much damage, too little repair. And at the end of your day, that's your equation. How much damage have you done to your teeth versus how much repair? I mean, I'm all in favor of you drinking some lemon juice and citrus things, but citrus is pretty aggressive on your teeth, so drink it. Drink your citrus, but realize when you finish drinking, maybe have some xylitol. And the great thing about xylitol is it stimulates a flow of alkaline saliva, your own saliva, into your mouth. And I think, again, one of the things I love about you, Ben, is you talk about this thing where people think they have to drink water continuously. And drinking, sipping water 12 hours of the day is going to thin your saliva, and you're going to end up depleting. You're actually going to pull minerals out of your teeth.
Wow.
A lot of people's problems today is because they are constantly sipping something. I mean, water's bad enough, but if you have something that's acidic, and worse yet, something that's sugary, you're going to be in a terrible problem.
So, what do you, if somebody has, if somebody comes to you and says, I need a root canal, what are alternatives? Are there any alternatives to that procedure?
Well, a root canal's been given a very bad rap. In the old days, when I'm pretty old, and I had a root canal, it used to be done with silver points. They used to put down silver, almost like needles, made of pure silver, down the root canal. And you and I know silver is antibacterial, so it was a really great filling for root canals. But it was expensive. And somebody brilliant came up with the idea that they could do just the same thing, only they could use plastic. And that happened probably in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. And in that, from the 80s until quite recently, root canals were a mess. They were being done by people who were not experienced, often because they were high price tag. They didn't have the equipment or the skills to really clean these canals properly. They were using a plastic with some toxic paste to fill these root canals. And so many people ended up with a kind of chronic infection at the end of a root canal. And then it was often retreated. And the worst ever are some of the retreatments. They used to sort of bore a hole in the side and put an amalgam filling in the end of the root. I mean,
so what's a good way to have a root canal done? What do you recommend?
First of all, by an expert. And the expert has to be one of those autistic scientists. I don't know if you know what I mean, but
there's an art form to it.
There's an art form. There's a skill level.
A surgeon, like a surgeon skill.
It's beautiful when it's done well, but it's rare to find. And I wouldn't just sit in the chair and have it done that morning when somebody tells you need a root canal, and I would avoid it at all costs. And that's why I say I am in favor of using, even though ideally, in the ideal world, I wouldn't think anyone should have to use fluoride of any form, but in order to protect our teeth and stimulate more natural healing, it speeds it up, basically.
What do you think about...
I would rather have you try to reverse a cavity, try not to have your fillings replaced by using sodium fluoride rinses and sodium fluoride toothpaste, and try to avoid dentistry as much as possible.
What's your take on oil pulling?
It's like so many things. There are so many people with what they think are great ideas. Baking soda is another one.
I was going to ask you about that next.
You don't want to have an acidic mouth. You don't want to have an acidic mouth, so okay, great. Let's have some baking soda. It's
I was going to ask you that next.
One of the problems with baking soda is that it melts the proteins of this protective biofilm, and men usually can get away with it because for some reason nobody's ever told me that it's been measured, but I would leg a bet that men have more protein available in their saliva on the whole, healthy young men, than women. And if you're a woman who's just had chemo or something, you start using baking soda, you're going to have a terrible time.
So you don't recommend baking soda. I'm ready. I got a ton of questions here, Dr. Phillips. I want you, Doc. You got to answer quick because I got all these questions for you, and we're running out of time.
Okay.
We only got like 30 seconds. Oil pulling. Tell me about oil pulling.
Oil pulling. It appears it kills the good as well as the bad bacteria.
Okay. So you can throw off the microbiome.
It's one thing. If you're in India and you've got gum disease, it's the best thing you can do. Get rid of the gum disease, but you'll have to do it for the rest of your life. It isn't. The big difference between a healthy mouth and a clean mouth. And oil pulling will make your mouth clean, but I want you to cultivate the healthy bacteria, and you can't do that when you're oil pulling.
Got it.
So
Doc, we're out of time. We're out of time. I got a ton more questions to ask. We're out of time. Her book is, Dr. Ellie Phillips, the book is Mouth Care Comes Clean. Great to talk to you. I knew it would be great to talk to you. Mouth Care Comes Clean, and you can get it off Amazon or, excuse me, is it on Kindle?
A Kindle, yes.
You can get it on Amazon or Kindle. Her website is, Zellies.com, Zellies. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.